Hello, I'm not sure what more I'm going to do now. Midnight's actually just settled herself on the rocking chair there. So if there's any movement, it's her. I just thought I might do something more, and I think it's to do with this flower here. Um, and I was just kind of enjoying myself actually, but feeling like it was maybe a bit boring to look at. I don't know. Because I felt like I wasn't doing anything different. But the thing here is that as well, it's good for me to have had that little break, because now I'm coming back with a fresh eye and considering what are the significant things that I could do, what are the significant little shifts that I could make to make this read more as the flowers that I'm looking at there. And I think it's something to do with this area, and I think maybe something to do with the lights there. There's some lighter stems and things, like there's a little stem coming up here that's quite bright. Just little flashes of brightness, I think, around here would be helpful. I'm making bigger shapes than I'm wanting to make, so I'm just going to chisel off some of the shape of light with a clean brush. And I've put some solvent on it. Sorry, the shake is Midnight hopping off the rocking chair. I put some of the solvent on it to just reduce the size of that stem. Chiseling it off as we do sometimes with the watercolour. And I'm going to do the same with this little bit too. I didn't want it to be quite that big a stem shape. Okay. But it seemed to me like it was helpful to have some few bits of light painted in there. And I'm going to do the same as I did with the petals of the flowers, really. And along with bringing the light in, I'm going to also bring in, to emphasize some of that dark. So alongside those light stems and the top of the vase, there's some really dark foliage where the plants enter into the pot. In fact, there's a dark band across there, really. And to the right of that stem as well. I can push some of that dark right up to meet the stem and to make it a little bit thinner. And the same, I could outline that stem a little bit with the dark too. I guess this is kind of giving stepping stones to the painting, and having a kind of a guiding, that stem needs to be to the right a bit more. Having a kind of a guiding line through, little directional things. Touches of light and dark, without going into great detail. We've got the bumpy collage underneath. It's doing its own thing as I put the paint on it. But I just put a bit of the solvent into it there to kind of let the brush flow a bit more freely. So I thought I might explain with these small brushes and a line something of the bright leaf that's sitting up there. So I'm using a little bit of light green and a dark colour for the background. A bit of the light green is on this brush though, and I think maybe I'll see about letting it explain this leaf that's going over here. Just twirling it around, give a small bit of a ridge to the edge. It's okay. And it may be that there's room for another drawn line of leaf colour here. Again, kind of swirling the brush as I go. so that it's got a lost and found edge and not something too regular. I don't want the edge of the leaf to be too regular. And then there's a kind of a greenish light coloured leaf that's extending here, down here. It's a particular shape. It's catching the light here, and I think it's a helpful light because it pulls down the composition a little bit. I just thought it would kind of be useful things to find. I just want it to be a nice clean edged bit of light, so yeah, pushing it up like that helped, I think. And maybe too that I could use this, maybe, and see what it reads as like when I've done it. And like I was saying, it's oil, so I can wipe it away as soon as I've done it if I'm not happy with it. So sometimes it's no harm to just try a thing. It's great power in action, rather than to be slithering about it. So I thought I would just paint some of the brightness that I'm seeing shining on this leaf. It's quite a bright leaf. In fact, that feels to me like it could be white there. So bright is it. And there's also a leaf that's very bright running down the center. Okay, I'm remembering what I was saying about not getting too trigger happy and ending up doing everything. And I also wanted to subdue that. I'm going to use a kitchen, just a napkin, because that seemed a bit too dominant. And I'm kind of liking the texture that's made from, from lifting it off with the dry napkin. It's okay. And maybe I could even use some there too. And then extending down below the jug is a touch, extending down below the vase is a touch of dark green. So in the same way as that's extending down and it's light, there's a bit of that same leaf, I think, the same kind of, well, it's green anyway. I think it might be from the same plant that's extending down over the top of the jug, of the vase here. Could be darker. And I think that's all right. And there's a few bits that are lighter green in this area of generally dark foliage. It seems to me that some bits are brighter, and it's worth, I think, putting them in. Otherwise it feels like it's a big area of nothingness. And there's a bit down here too of a nice spring green in shadow, but it's a nice clean spring green. So I'm going to see if I can make it with my blue and lemon yellow. I mean, I'm sure there's a number of ways of really accurately finding this green, but it's close enough to what I'm seeking here that I'm going to leave it. And I'm making fairly dynamic committed marks. Like, these are brush marks that are pretty, you know, decisive, I suppose. Because I don't want it to go into botanical illustration and stuff. I want there to be a liveliness in it still. And I think it, having started as a lively painting for me on camera, when I was talking to you at the beginning of this painting, I want something of that energy to still live in it. That kind of feeling of joyfulness. It was my first flower painting in the living room this year, as far as I know. And I felt delighted to be, you know, I felt delighted painting it, be sharing and all that carry on. So I want to keep it nice and light and free and all of that. So that's why the square brush marks kind of suit me. And now there's a leaf here. The square brush marks suit me, and also the kind of jumping about and keeping it all alive. I'm reminded again of the Cézanne quote that I often say, my painting holds hands and comes up together. So there's a sense of keeping an eye on everything, not letting anything fall too far behind or have no, I mean, when I say fall behind, I don't mean that everything has to be painted out to the edges. I mean that the energy of all of it is working to enhance everything best you can. I'd say always qualify everything with best you can. Now there's another little petal that I'd like to extend a wee bit further down the way here. I just feel like there's room to make that longer. And I'm covering my bit of dark that I was talking about earlier, but I think that's no harm. Oh, it's mixed in with the white anyway. It's okay. I don't know what I did there with that. Kind of wasn't a very helpful thing. So I feel like now I want to clarify the middle of that flower again. To really let us know where it is and what colour it is and how it relates to the petals around it. Because at the moment it's just a little half-hearted blob of green. So it's an arc really, up and down, equal distant on both sides, I think. And I might end up making it lighter once it's there, but I'm going to put it there first. I'm going to put it there first, and I'm going to then put that bright petal back over the top of it. Because I think that was quite a nice move. And maybe a bit more yellow-green could be injected into that middle. So I'm just smearing the lemon yellow onto the dirty palette and finding that it makes a nice yellow-green that I think is what I'm seeing there. Even that one move I think might be enough. I might bring a touch of it into that one too. I'm starving now. I've got my potatoes. Our oven isn't working very well, so I fancied a baked potato, but I've just boiled it really and put butter in the saucepan, and hopefully it's gone crispy now when I go in. Baked potato with avocado and hummus is my plan. I've got a bit of salmon as well. Really getting hungry now talking about it. So leaning back, let me see, what is it that needs to happen? I think there's something like a juicy bit of blue, just one little bit of bright blue somewhere in that pot. Like, that's not juicy, is it? That's dirty. I've used up so many bits of brushes. Oh, there's a clean one. Excuse me, I found a clean one here. I'll put out some more white. I think this might make me want to do a painting tomorrow because I've got enough paint on my palette to make another painting. I've got enough oil paint out, and of course oil paint does last. It doesn't dry out too quickly. So what I'm trying to do is make with white and ultramarine blue, I'm making myself a really bright light blue colour to scoop up, and I just want to put some here actually, and I'm going to put some down here. My plan was to put some on the pot. For some reason it seems to me like I could do with some dancing marks of light down here. They're not really standing out very brightly, are they? maybe just needs to have more colour in it. Okay. The phrase flogging a dead horse comes to mind now. So maybe it's a sure sign I could do with stopping. I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it, guys. I'm mixing the light with the magenta. It's kind of satisfying too. Alright, if there's a final move, it is this. Oh, I'm going to get a brush that works now. This one. If it's a final move, it is to place the yellow-green leaf that's there. Something there. Yellow-green brightness. There. Or thereabouts. And then maybe a little bit with white in it. To surround this greyish petal here. And to make that leaf shape. Okay, I'm gonna stop because I don't know what else to do actually, and I still feel like I could have given that a bit more clarity. It's only when I see it on the screen I start to realise what I want to do next. It is actually a good method, you know, of finding out, to look at your picture on a phone or something, to take a photograph of it. And I think it really clarifies for me when I do that what I want to do next and where it needs attention. And what I wanted to do was address this flower a little bit. Give it a bit of attention in these areas. I never put back in the stem that I took out there either. I might as well put that back in. I think it would be a good idea to put that back in. If I can find the brush I was using. This one I'll have to do, I think. I'm just mixing up a light colour to make that stem with the lemon yellow, ultramarine blue and white. And the stem I'm talking about is the one that I took out from here. And now to make it read cleanly with the background, I can just push that up a bit. This is a brush that has some of that dark background colour on it, you see. That's alright. Maybe I could indicate some little bit the direction of the petals and some divisions between them. I don't really want to do it too much though. I think it's just bringing in some other element. It's not necessary. It seems a bit drastic there now. Probably is, but I want to just stop the flower feeling like it's all the same colour and all really bright. So I put some a darker colour over it. And maybe just do the centre again then. I'm not sure if I still want this there at all. Okay, saved by the bell. I'm going to just stop. There it is. That's what happened most recently. All right. Bye.